Okay, now we are down to the tags. And we just have one more thing that pertains to this part, and then we can actually start putting this thing together. Okay, for these, I'm just going to do some little clusters. Gosh, I had a sample of one here. I don't even know where it went. By grabbing some little pieces of paper and fabric and anything that catches my eye. And I don't think I'm going to use anything out of here. I think I'm going to use my other little thing that has all my weird little scraps in it. This little box here has all these little tiny weird, like these are, you know, like out of a book, and you know, when I've gutted books, and it has some little things in here that might help me to do my clusters. Like that's already got a little nice little piece of green on it. I need something for a base, and usually I just try to get a piece, and that's not wide enough, of, where are those muslin pieces? Oh, here they are. I'll just try to start with something like that, like just a little piece, you know, canvas, muslin, something, that will start my base. And have something to stitch to. Okay, those will work. Okay, so I've got a little piece of something to start as my base. You could use a piece of paper if you want to. And I'm just going to kind of look through things. I've picked out 4 of my little words. And let's see, I had flutter with this one, because these little, I had flutter with that one. I had sing with that one. And I'll do soar and fly. Okay, those are my words I'm going to use on here. Now I'm just going to look at each tag individually and kind of build myself a little bundle that I'll just run it through my sewing machine. This one does have that little bit of orange in it, so I think I would like a little bit of this, and I'm just snipping a crazy little piece. I don't think that'll stay at the back, but you know, for now. Here's a little bit of a cheesecloth, chunk of that, and I like this paper here, and I just kind of hold and build. If I'm going to use some of this paper, I may want to ink it. Let's see, where's my inker? Underneath everything. May want to ink a little bit, you know, just because that kind of ties that sort of in. But these are just those messy, you've seen probably a dozen people make these. They're just the messy little clusters. You just kind of layer. I think I would like a little of that darkish blue, and I had that in here. And sometimes I'll scrunch things up a little bit, you know, as I'm sewing them. I might hold it like this, and it might look like this when I'm holding it, but it might look different when it comes out of the sewing machine, because you kind of tend to, like, I like that kind of fibery, I don't even know what that is, but I like it. Let's see, the orange is a little bold there, so I want to dull that down with something. I do think I want a little piece of this in there if I can get it. Just a crazy snip. That kind of takes that orange. I don't mind it being bold. I want that little furry thing on top. And now I have to decide if I want to sew through that word or not. Or do I just want to apply the word somewhere else? Or do I want it to be a separate tag? That's exactly what I want it. Okay, so once I've decided what all's going in here, you know, and taking my little snips, I still would like something a little, I can see it in my brain, I just can't get it on my tongue. Darker. Ooh, I found some mummy cloth. That mummy cloth actually has a little piece of nature stuck to it. Maybe I'll add this little chunk of mummy cloth to get something dark in there. And I'll put it right there. Okay, so I'm going to just build each one of these little chunks up, and then I'm going to run them through my sewing machine real quick, and then I'm just going to stick them down. Now, okay, I stitched these down the center. It's really bright, man. It's bright in here. You can see that little center. I'm going to take my ink and ink my thread again just a little bit. Just pouncing to kind of dull down that white thread. I still was too lazy to change it. And what I do is when I do these, make sure everything touches in the center, and I'll just zigzag straight down the middle. You can do other things, but I kind of like the loose, leafy edges of it. And generally, I sew something into this, but I didn't want to sew my words into that. I'm going to put this on, and then we can add a layer of lace underneath it, or we can add a little embellishment on top of it. So I'm going to put those aside for a second, and I want to focus on these little ones. And so what I did was I went over and got some smaller size tags like this, so that it would be the same tag material. I don't even know that I need to take that out. My thought was to see, well, if I do that, I'm going to have to take it out. Is that going to be too big if I do it that way? Maybe not. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is take my decal scissors on each one of these and cut off that little top. And I'll just save that because that'd be good for another project. But I just wanted to use the same background as what I had here. So, and you could just tear this if you want to. I can get 2 out of 1. Let's see, I'm going to decal all the little edges a little bit around here. And let's see how much room I need for one of these. And I'm going to cut this, the words are, I'm going to cut off the excess here. I'm going to cut them down so that the words are not quite so long, and ink where I cut them off. Let's kind of move, I just really need one of these over here right now. Kind of move that aside. Okay, see, I can almost get, well, no, I need extra. Can't do that. Don't cut it off too short. Okay, I can do that and cut that one down. Yeah, I'll probably need all 4 of those tags the way this is looking. I'm gonna go ahead and glue my little sing on here, on this little cut piece. Right there, kind of in the middle of it. And I want to leave myself room for a hole to be punched there. And I think I want, let's see, how do I want to do that? Do I want to use one of the hole, where are they? Hole reinforcers. There they are. I know I left them out on purpose so I could find them. Maybe we'll want to do a hole reinforcer on it, on the end, somewhere there. Ink it. I don't know if I want to do it that way. I'm looking at it. I can always pull that thing off if I don't like it. Do I like it with the hole reinforcer, or do I want it more just with the... Where's his... This is yours? Okay. I'm going to hold his little thing up here. Roll some stuff. Whoops. I guess I could have put the sing on the other way. It's going to look better on the other side. If I move the sing this way, and then put it on. Yeah, I like it better that way. Okay, let me regroup here. I'll just ink that where I kind of tore that paper. And I think I'll use this other glue to put that on there. That way I've got a little bit of time if I need to pull it back off if I mess it up. Put seam on that end. And I've got my little hole reinforcer thing on there. I'll get the proper size hole punch and punch that hole out. And I can tell that this is not cut quite evenly. So yeah, that looks a little better. Still not perfect, but it looks better than it did. Okay, there we go. And I don't know why I always ink the back, I just do. That's probably waste, but okay. So I'm going to do that with each one of these and make a new little tab. I kept the string, so I'm going to string the strings back in here through the front and pull the ends through. And that's just going to be a little seam tag. And if it doesn't lay exactly like I want to, which it kind of doesn't, I think I'm going to position it how I want it. Maybe tack a little glue under there and then pull this tight so that I get it where I want it. And I don't want it the whole thing glued down. I think I'm just going to put a dot of glue underneath, you know, here at the top. Just a dot to hold it where I want, but I want it to be a little bit standing up from there. And I know I'm going to want to glue this down, so I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this, because I can always just glue lace to the back side if I need to. Let's go ahead and glue this portion down too. So I'm going to do that for the next 3, and then we'll come back and see what else we want to do with this. So hang on just a minute. Okay, so I glued down all my little fabric and paper clusters. I added my little extra tag up here, put the string back in. The one thing I didn't do is I use a lot to tie these little ends of the string in knots, just so that they don't unravel. And then I need to decide if I want anything in here, or even a little more like lace or something coming out of there. I was almost just thinking a button in the center of each of these, just a simple little flat shell button, nothing fancy, or even a row of buttons, maybe 3 little white buttons. Just like I said, I'm trying to keep these fairly flat so that I don't end up with too much bulk in the book. I want them to be cute, I want them to have layers, but I want them to, you know, to have that rich kind of look to them, but not to be too bulky. So I'm trying to keep this, and that is really hard for me, because let me tell you, I make some chunky journals. Now, you could use some of these images on there if you wanted to glue on a nest. I would, if these are not, if you haven't printed these on cardstock, I would definitely glue them to some craft card or cardstock before I glued it on there. But you could use these, you know, some of the little things that we have printed. However, I don't think I want to do that. I'm kind of saving these for another part of the book, so I've been trying to hang on to them. I keep thinking I could use those, but, you know, maybe I don't need to. And my thought was, I may have to get my button thing, was maybe even just, I don't know if I like buttons on there. I don't like 3 buttons on there, I can tell you that right now, that I do not like 3 buttons. Do I like 1 button? Oh, you know what? I have some wooden buttons that I was gifted. Let me grab some of those. Those might be pretty. I didn't even think about these. Let's see. I was gifted some. I have some of these are print buttons, but isn't that one cute? Oh, cute, cute. Yeah. That's what I need there. But I'm going to put some string through them before I decide. There's even one that's got a little red on it if I want to get, you know, a little brightness to it. I've got a few print buttons here, and then some, these were gifted to me from, oh gosh, my brain just went dead. I'll tell you in a second because it'll come back to me. It's like, I'm so sad and pathetic. I don't think I want these rich colors in here. I don't think I want these. Bird's Nest Books is who donated these to me. Ooh, that's kind of pretty, but I think it's a little big. I want the dark one with that. Maybe just the browner one with that. And let's see, what do we have here? Just like that sort of tiny one. Or do I like the brighter one with this? Ooh, I like that better. And maybe the two darker ones there. Okay. Leanne from Bird's Nest Books. I'm so sorry, Leanne. My brain just went boop. So all I'm going to do here is pull some string through here and tie it in a little knot and then glue it down. And I'm going to have to pause you for that because my little ball of string is not laying up here. It might have rolled off. Let me grab some more string. Hang on. Okay, changed my mind about string. I want to use some of this thin hemp cord through there. So all I'm going to do is push it through the front, through one hole, up through the next, tie it off, and a knot. Cut it. Leave a couple little tail ends of it out. And just glue it right there in the middle. And that's what I'm going to do on all these. I can show you how to do one of the four. I mean, it's, you know, pretty self-explanatory, but I do like the little buttons on there. That does make it cute. Okay, I like that. This one, I'm going to go through the front. I think I am. Oh, that button's got a, let me get a needle. That button has a, I'm going to use the eye end. There's a little piece of wood in there. There it goes. I was wondering why that wouldn't go through there. It's because it's got a little piece of wood in there. Okay, I hope I got that out good enough. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go through the back, cross over to the opposite one. Give me plenty of string. Crossing over to the opposite one, pulling it down. I'm going to tie this like this so my ends will be going a different way. I actually tied it just, you know, just one over one. I'm going to pull it back down on this side. Cut this end. Not that much. And I'm going to put the opposite end back in because I don't want the strings on top of this one. I want them on bottom, and it just kind of looks like it's got a little knot there. And I'm just going to knot it on the back. And I'm going to repeat that process on the other two buttons and glue them down. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got all the buttons attached now. The last step on these is just to decide if I want to add lace or not to the bottom of the tag. It's actually kind of sweet with the lace on it, isn't it? Okay, so we will do that then. I don't know that I'll dirty all of it down that much, but this piece I'm gonna. So all I'm gonna do is run a bead of glue across here and put that lace on the back side, just right here along the edge, and I can cut off what is excess. I can kind of center it from back here, and then cut off what I don't need. Because like I said, I don't mind these being a little more, since I'm gonna, there. And I think that'll finish them off. This gives us 3, 4, I can't count, I must be getting tired, 4 little tags that we can clip in our book. Okay, let's move on to the journal cards. And that is going to be our last thing that we're going to embellish for this kit. Okay, we are ready to work with our little journaling cards. And the first thing we're going to make is an accordion fold out. So you're going to need to make 2, you're going to need one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. At minimum, it needs to be 12 by 9, okay? So you're going to cut, this measures 3 inches this way and 4 3/4 this way. So you want to cut a strip of your paper 4 3/4. Now I already know that this is half, this line is half, since this is my paper, but you're going to cut a strip that is 12 by 4 3/4. And then I'm going to use my scoreboard, and you don't have to, you can fold this every 3 inches. I'm going to score this every 3 inches. I'm going to put it here and score it at 3 and at 6 and at 9. And I'm going to do the same thing with the second sheet, because I want to make 2 of these. I'm going to score this at 3, 6, and 9. This is some ledger paper that I found recently. This is not real old, so it's not brittle, and it'll work for this project because it's not gonna, mess up. So the first thing you need to do is take one end of your thing, fold it up, okay? Flip it over, fold it up on that score line. Flip it over and fold it up until you have a little accordion. You might want to line it up slightly better than I did, but until you have an accordion like that, okay? And do the same thing with this one. Fold one up, flip it over, fold it up, flip it over, and fold it up. And that gives you 2 of these little accordions. So I'm just going to look through my cards that I did here and pick out a couple that I want to do. I think I'm going to do a blue one and a green one like that. Move the scoreboard out of the way. Okay, I think I want to do a blue one and a green one. I'm going to do those 2 there for sure. And we're going to attach one side of this will be attached to our page, and one side will be attached to our book. I'm not real fond of this little area here with the little hole, so I'm going to do something a little bit different with that. And I'm actually going to make a little pocket on the back of this. So with my first one, I'm going to cut off that hole area because I don't like it. I don't want a hole in there. So I'm going to cut that off. And I cut that off about, I can tell you how much I cut it off. It's the wrong way. About 1/2 inch. So I'm cutting about 1/2 inch off of this one and this one. Oops. And I cut a little crooked. Guess it didn't really matter. But I like the numbers, so I want to keep my numbers. And I'm just going to fold it down another 1/2 inch or so. Just like this. To keep that little, I kind of like the numbers and where that says the patent office and stuff like that. So I cut 1/2 inch off. And which side did I just cut that off of? Yeah, this one. Okay, wait, did I fold it the right way? Yes. Okay, let me make sure I fold it the right way. Hold your paper against the back. You want this to be on the outside. This is going to be a little secret pocket in there. like that. So I want to make sure I do that on the other one, that I'm folding it the right way. Yes, fold that down. So sorry, I have to flip it to see if I'm folding it straight. Okay. Yes, it is straight. And all that's going to do right there is help stabilize that a little bit. So I'm just going to glue that flap down with a little bit of glue. I don't guess I need 20 pieces of paper over here, do I? I'm going to kind of glue my little flap down there. And glue it down here. And then, I don't think I got glue on the end. I'm going to take my ink and ink the back of these cards. I'm going to kind of ink my around and give it a little grunge and get rid of that white look to my stitching there. Here and here. Just want to get rid of that grunge. And then I'm going to see what's the top of my card. Make sure they're both up. I want them both that way. I'm going to take that text stamp again, and I'm going to kind of stamp that part that's going to be showing. It doesn't have to cover the whole thing. Just a little bit. I'm going to over stamp that a little bit. There it goes. Okay. Get that. I'm going to have to get a new potting soil ink. I think I'm getting low on my ink. For sure getting low on my pressure to push down on the ink. Okay. Now I've got a little, little detail going on in there. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to stitch across that or not, just for a little, or if I want to add anything, or if I'm just going to leave it paper. I don't know, but in the meantime, while I'm thinking on that, I am going to go and ink all the sides of this paper. You can go down the creases if you want to. I'm not. I'm just going to hit the edges all the way down both sides and flip it over and do the other side. So I'm going to pause while I ink, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I inked my pages, and then I decided that this looked a little still newish, so I just took my dauber with the excess ink and kind of went around it to make it sort of look foxed and old. I did add some stitching here, just a zigzag stitch, and I'm going to kind of ink that down a little bit to go over my stitching. Let's fold and put these aside. We've got those prepped. And let's look at how we want to decorate the fronts of these. I want this to be my up part. What did I do with those stickers? There they are. I do think I'm going to use some of these stickers. This is where you can get out some of your stickers and your trim or stamps or pretty much anything you got and put something on there. So I want to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use this one. Let me look at them. Yeah, I want that one. This one here. Oh, it's like a tag. I didn't realize that. Okay, well, I'll just make it like a tag. Let me get that little extra piece of, I can do that. Little extra piece of paper then. Let's stick that on there. I didn't realize that was a tag. I thought it was a whole thing. I guess I could cut that off if I didn't want it there. I should have thought of that before I stuck it on there, huh? Well, too late now. This is what we're doing. Just making it more complicated on myself, I guess. Okay. And I may try to cover that hole up if I can. But I'm using this little sticker, and you could use any kind of little card or sticker, or, you know, pretty much just whatever you've got in your stash you can use. And I'm going to go around the edges of this one too to kind of dull down that stitching. And I'll go ahead and do that on this one as well. I'm going to use that little swirly stamp again and stamp this corner up here across this corner a little bit. And let me lay that back and see if I want to stamp anywhere else before I put that stamp up. I may just do both corners of this one. Kind of get that. Okay. I'm going to glue these down. I have to clean that off a little bit, I guess. Got a little clogged. There we go. And we will get this little thing glued down. You can cut flowers out of magazines if you know someone who's got a gardening book or a bird book, like a magazine, like some people get those. My stepdad used to get those Birds and Blooms books, and so those were quite fun to have. And I don't think I'm going to do any kind of lace, or I think this is just going to be a flat sort of little collage piece here, not really anything else too fancy, because this does have to have a little ribbon, you know, or something, a tie of some sort to tie it closed. And I'm going to cover up that part that was kind of stamped there, and I think that's really all I need to do to that one. So I'm going to take one of the inside pieces with the little secret pocket part. I'll turn that over, and I'm going to glue here, here, and here, and we'll end up with a little pocket on the inside cover of this fold out. Make sure. My dog is in there having a hissy fit, and she's just going to have a hissy fit. She is not happy that I'm staying outside, and she doesn't want to come in the studio and behave and be civilized. She wants to stand out there and bark at me, and she just wants me to come in the house. She's so bossy and so spoiled, it's not even funny. She's a little miniature dachshund. Okay, that's how we want this. So that when we pull this out, we've got a little tuck pocket behind there, and then this will attach to our book. We will, you know, glue this one into our book. So you don't really need to do anything about that. I am going to go ahead and put a couple clips on there to hold that while it's drying, and let it kind of seat itself there, and move on to the next one. Okay, sorry, it took me a second to figure out what I wanted to do. I'm going to use a piece of this vintage wallpaper. I'm just going to cut a little strip of it. And my ribbon here is still a little movable, I guess you could say, so I can glue that in. I'm going to gently try to ink the edges of this. Well, I may have to go let that dog out. I don't know if y'all can hear, but I can, and it is driving me crazy. I went to the house a while ago. When I paused, I tried to get her to come out. She just jumped on the couch. She was not coming out. She just wants to be a big old pain, is what she wants to do. Do I want that? Yeah, I think I want that up against the ribbon. So I'm going to use this glue because I'm scared to rub a glue stick. This is really old wallpaper, and I'm scared to rub a glue stick across it because it may mess up. I don't want to do that. Okay. I'm going to slide that under the edge of my ribbon there and press that down. And I had some washi here. I'm thinking about putting a piece of washi on there too. Across it for another little layer. I have some little round ones over here. Maybe I want to do something like just a little simple round, which I think is really cute. So I think I'm going to do that and stick it on that extra stuff I got there and try to cut it out. Boy, this is going to be a fun one. It's a circle. I had thought I was going to use that and this, and then, you know, that's what happens though. You start and, like, I had it all planned, and then when I put it down, I was like, I don't want to cover up so much of that background. I like it. You know, so, it's always what happens. Too many, sometimes it's good to have a lot of options, and sometimes it's good to limit your options. That way you don't kind of get in that little bit of a quandary there. Now this one, I think I want to put it on there like a little, since it's got this little ring thing, a little thing at the top. Boy, that's not perfect cutting there. Oh well, we'll just ink it and call it good. It's rustic. It's rustic, people. It's rustic. I think I will put this one on with a little brad at the top. Do a little brad. I kind of like the idea of the little blue tab kind of over to the side a little bit, I think. I can still see some of that pink and stuff, but not cover everything up. Mark it and punch it. I'll have to grab my brads again. I put them back up because I didn't think I was going to use them again. Luckily my studio is super small, so I can go through it pretty quick. Okay, and I think using one of the bright limey green ones would be pretty on there. Just, ooh, that one's smashed. Let's see if I can unsmash it. Yeah. Use the bright limey green. I'll probably ink it down a little bit. And this one, I don't think that I want any type of other, since I've got this here, I don't think I want any other type of that. And I don't think I'll do anything else to this one. I think I'll leave it as is. And then I'm going to pause you for 1 second and go and do something with that dog. She's just not happy because she's not getting her way. There, I like that. We will glue the back of this one to here, and I'll do something to cover that up. I'll find some little something to cover that up. Line that up on there. Make sure it is down. I'm going to put a couple clips on that to hold it. And I'm going to pause you for a second, then we'll come back and finish these little journal cards. But these are the two fold-out ones. Okay, I've picked out two more, and I'm going to use two of the tickets on this. Now these I'm also going to have to glue down, I think, just to make them a little more sturdy. I think they'll glue better. They may glue fine like that. I don't know. It just seems like it's harder to ink them and stuff like that. They don't have as much. I kind of like them lifted up a little bit, I guess is what I'm like saying. You know, they lift off just slightly. Not a lot, but a little bit. So I think I will go ahead and glue these down and cut them out. Get the ink back out. We're going to do some inking. I'm glad that dog, she finally came back outside with me. She's roaming around out in the field, but she was just really having herself a hissy fit in there. I'm glad she stopped. This one I know is going to be on that side, and I know that this one's going to be on this side. And now I just have to decide what I want to use with them, how I want to apply them on here with the different papers and stuff. Okay. I pulled a couple pieces of paper. For this one, it's just a little piece of that heavy lined dyed paper that I had left, and I'm going to just glue that down because I know that it's going where I want it to. On top of this, right there in the middle. And for this one, I found this piece of like a ledger type paper. Some ink, and ink this. It's just a little scrap of paper that I had left in my scraps. So I love to be able to use scraps up. It just seems like it takes forever to use scraps up. I'm going to place that one right under that lace. Just kind of line it up right under there. And I know that, oh, that one didn't want to stick down. I think I do. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You get the gist of this. I'm going to decorate these 4 fronts and then come back and show you how I'm going to use these if I'm making them into booklets, because we could sit here with this film running for 10 hours with me fiddling. So I think I'll go ahead and do that and come back. Let me decorate these last 4 and I'll tell you what I did, okay? Okay, I finally got all the decorating confusion out of the way. Here they all are finished. These are the 2 accordions with the little pocket on the back that we made. That one's ready to go in the book, as is this one. It's also got the little hidden pocket on the back. And these are the ones that I kind of just went off camera and did because I was really getting frustrated feeling like I was taking up too much time going back and forth, so I thought I'll just do it and then come back. This one and this one are very similar. They both have vintage wallpaper and washi tape. I used 2 of the little round things. This one I used a little sticker that said Dream and double layered it and put the little bird on there, you know. So these 2 are kind of very similar in design. And these 2 are they're actually almost exact in design. All I did to this one was add the piece of torn paper, a piece of washi, the little tag, a butterfly, and a flower. Okay, so those are very much the same. And I did a little stamping here and there, but we had covered that before. So those 2 are kind of, you know, they're very comparable to the same. These 2 are a little different. I used a piece of vintage wallpaper. I thought that looked like kind of like a meadow, you know, like maybe some grasses in a meadow. And I cut the bird out of the ticket because I just felt like it was too, the ticket for this one, it just, I just couldn't get it to work right for me. So I cut the bird off, used the word laugh, and some little flowers and some stamping. And then this one I used the whole ticket and the word wish and just some little flowers. So now we're ready to make, these, that I was like, what's that ribbon? Throw it away. No, it's the whole thing going with it. Okay, so we're ready. I want to make a couple of these, and I'm thinking it's going to be these two into little booklets, and then these two I think I'm going to leave and just put paper on the back for journaling cards. So let me get some paper and stuff, and we will make these into some little booklets. Okay, so I found this orange ribbon and this piece of green velvet, and I'm going to use that for my binding on there. I've got 3 different kinds of children's sort of practice paper and another piece of the craft card. I need to cut 2 more of these that are 4.5 by 3 for the back of this, and sew around it and ink it. Okay, those are stitched and they are ready to be inked. I'm going to kind of ink down that just like we did on the other thing, and kind of ink around them a little bit. And I'm not going to stamp these any on the backs, I don't think. I think I'm going to leave these plain. I'll probably just leave them like they are. I just want to go around and get some of this. I think I'm just going to leave these alone. Okay, so that's all we got to do to that. Now I got to cut, ouch, pinch myself, cut some paper to, probably cut a lot of this together, to the 4 3/4 by 3. Now I'm going to kind of dish out paper. I'm going to kind of mix them here. And I've got 2 in 1, so I'll put another one of these on back, and I'll just put that one aside. So I've got a few little sheets of paper, and this is, you know, fairly thin, but it gives you quite a bit of writing space. So we'll get those all kind of lined up, and all I'm going to do is put them in here, put the back on, and put the front on, and I'm going to zigzag stitch them together, and then I'm going to glue some of the ribbon and the velvet over as binding to bind that up. So I'm going to run over to the machine, and I'm just going to zigzag stitch this edge closed and then do the edge of the booklet. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have stitched just a simple zigzag stitch down both outer edges. I've caught all the pages in there. Got, you know, quite a few little pages, but it kept it as a thin book. And now I want to take some of that ribbon and velvet. I don't know where I put that orange ribbon. There it is. Okay, the orange ribbon. And I just kind of want to glue this onto the edge. It's just a little part of my book. And I could have sewn it, but I didn't really want the stitches to show through this. So I'm going to kind of just hack that off right there. And for this, I am going to use the tacky glue, or you could use fabric glue. And I don't have my Fabri-Tac right here. I was using it somewhere else, so I don't have it out here. Had a little project inside that I had to do a little hem repair, and I didn't want to have to. It's just a little, like a crafty thing, not hemming clothes with my tape or glue. But I kind of just wanted a little messy spine here, so I'm kind of just scooching the ribbon onto it to have that bit of a messy. I don't know if I want it that messy. Maybe I'll cut those off a little more or shape them a little bit. Let's see if I can pull that over. I kind of like it just like that. Let's see, I'll cut that one a little bit and just angle it. No, I just can't do that. I have to have it even. I just can't. Don't ask me why. This one has to be neat. Oh gosh, you hear the peacock? Something startled him. Okay, so there. Booklet. I'm going to put a little bit more glue here under the ribbon in the back, because I've got some of it sticking up and I don't want it to peel off. Good grief, this glue. Okay. Let's kind of push it down. I'm not worried that it's, you know, wavy or anything. I just didn't want it to be, like I said, I don't really mind that for some reason. The little crinkles and wrinkles in it, I like that. But I just didn't want those ends poking up. Okay, I'm happy. And I'll probably, just because, you know, I have to. Okay. Let that dry. And if I want to do anything else further, ribbon or anything, I'm going to let that go. And I don't know why I'm thinking about using this velvet on here, because it's really not, you know, with the blue, but I don't know why, but for some reason I love that green velvet with this, so I'm going for it. I'm going to kind of try to cut this one a little bit, because it's a little funky. Kind of go along there like that. And like I said, I don't know exactly why I wanted to use that green velvet, but when I saw it, I was like, I just want to use it on there. And it would have looked really good with that, but I wanted a pop of that orange, peachy orange color. So, I'm going to go down this one. Do that along the back. Stick that down on that velvet where I've kind of got it going across there. I have to even it up a little bit. It's kind of crooked as far as that goes. But I just like that velvet. I don't know if it's because of the leaves on here or what, but I just really like that velvet. So now we've got little booklets that you can use and tuck somewhere inside the book. And like I said, I'm going to leave them at this point right here and just let them dry. And the last two cards, we've got these two over here. Those are done. One of those is not. These two. Yeah, these two. I think I'm going to leave them plain and just glue some sort of paper on the back. Probably something thicker than that. It needs to be thicker than that, because that's not going to be good gluing paper. I think I'll just, let me see if that brown paper is wide enough, or how about we just use an index card. And I'll just glue it down to that, and then it'll, you know, and ink it, and it'll, you know, trim it out and everything. So That'll work. Let's just do that and leave these just as flat journaling cards. That seems like a good thing to do. I'm determined to use this glue until it's gone. And it keeps proving me wrong. I keep thinking, oh, there's not any more going to come out, and then it starts squeezing again. Okay, so put the card, line it up here, flip it over. Now we'll need 2 of these because one won't do that. It's not going to fit. So checking to make sure that I have that somewhat lined up. And we will trim this out, ink it, and leave these as is for now. And then I'll see if I need to do anything else with them once they go to the book. You know, like if I need to add a little ribbon or a tab. See, you know, we haven't done any tabs yet. We're not to that part of the project yet. But, and I know y'all are going like, how long is this project? It's long. Okay. My process is I'm very detailed oriented, so I like a lot of details in there. And I'm going to get rid of that, and we're going to re-ink. I'm going to ink around the front just because if you can see any of that white card, I want to get rid of that. And I probably will add tabs on these to pull out of the, wherever we tuck them. I don't know where they're going, but they'll probably get a tab. So, but these are going to be just journaling cards. And now I'm thinking, oh, I should add some droopy ribbon to this one. Okay, that one needed a touch of blue, so we went with just a little blue hand-dyed cotton. I'm trying to get that string off, and I'm pulling it right back up out of the glue. That was not good. I just wanted a little knot right there on the corner. There we go. Just stay there. That's all you got to do. Okay, so now we've gotten these ready for just journaling, and we'll probably end up adding a little tab on there. And we've gotten these. So the next time we meet here, we are going to start putting this stuff in the journal and get this thing sewn up. Because it seems like to me it's taking a long time. I don't know if it is to you, but I also wanted to show you what we're going to do next time too. I saved a couple of those tickets and a couple of other things. We are going to be making some dangles and some paper clips. These are the little dangles. Can I take you in? These are paper clip dangles. And they're super simple to make, and they're fun, and they just make something cute and pretty for your journal. And I've got 3 of those done, and then we're going to make a couple of paper clips. And then that really should be, until we're just actually working in the book, that should be it. That's the entire kit. So I wanted to thank you for joining me. I know this has been a long session, and I will edit as best as I'm able, and I will see you around the studio.